Welcome, Boerne. Thank you for tuning in this morning. My name is Jeff Flynn. I'm the managing editor of the Boerne Star Newspaper. This is Brew on Boerne Radio 103.9 FM. Thank you for tuning in. We come to you every Saturday. Terry Barboza, our sports editor, and I rotate. We bring you sports people, newsmakers, entertainers, and today we have a couple people who are award winners as of last week at the Chamber Gala. I've got Lori Houck here, executive director of the Transformation House, and I've got Natalie Sales, who is the president of the board.
Correct.
Welcome in, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Congratulations on the victory. You get to hold that little trophy.
Lori slept with it. We have photo proof.
It rotates, right? It rotates
right.
around.
Yes.
Do you have it for 12 months, or is it yours to keep forever?
Oh. It has our name on it, so I think it's ours.
Okay, great. I didn't know if it's like the Stanley Cup where
We got to pass it on.
Pass it on. Hey, tell me, Lori. We'll focus on the other night. You were one of 18 nominations for the Nonprofit of the Year for the Greater Boerne Chamber of Commerce Annual Gala. You guys got all dressed up to the teeth. I saw the photo, and you go there. And it's got to be like the Academy Awards or anything else when they say, and the envelope is, and they lift up and they say, and you start hearing Transformation House faster, but I'm sure it was either lightning quick or it felt like it was a big draw.
They started by describing the nonprofit who had won, and as they started describing it, Natalie and I started looking at each other going, that sounds really familiar.
Like our mission.
And so it did start to sink in slowly that maybe it was us. Maybe we were the winners. And so we're terribly honored. Boerne has such a deep and wonderful nonprofit community. And so just to be nominated is fantastic.
Right. Lord, Natalie says, tell us a little bit about Transformation House for those of us who don't know what it is or have just found out what it is. Transformation House.
Yes. Thank you again. We are a nonprofit here in Kendall County. We serve women that are not necessarily from Kendall County, but find their way here somehow, right? We are not an emergency shelter. We are a transformative shelter. We provide housing, and we like to say radical hospitality to women and children that are survivors of domestic violence. We provide them transitional housing, but there is no time limit. Usually our clients are here with us for about 2 years.
18 months to 2 years.
Yes. Right. The beautiful part is, like we were telling you earlier, is that there's been wonderful people from the community that have come out and provided them. Not only do we provide them with therapy and play therapy and financial advocacy, and these women have become, from the time they arrive to us till the time they leave, completely independent, and we know they will go off and thrive.
And that's a big thing right there, the independency, because a lot of women, I volunteered at the Carlsbad Battered Family Shelter in Carlsbad, New Mexico, when I lived there for a while. I got to talk to the women. They understood the role I was in as both a reporter and a volunteer. And so many of them, it's that last straw. Yeah. Something pushes them over the edge, and they flee a situation that they've been in for months or years, and they're homeless. And they have nothing but the shirts on their backs. Maybe their son or daughter packed a little backpack full of all their things, but
trash bag usually.
Right, trash bag. It takes them as long to become independent as it did to break free of their situation. Talk about that a little, Lori.
You're exactly right. And it's really complicated to start over from scratch, especially if you're a mom. You just imagine all the pieces that you have to put together. You need employment, you need daycare, you need housing, you may need to repair your credit history. It's a time-consuming and complicated process, just the practicalities, never mind the emotional healing and all of those sorts of things that need to happen. And that's really why we started, is because we recognized that the women who were in this situation really needed an extended amount of time if they were really going to be able to break free and transform their lives.
The Battered Family Shelter in Carlsbad, they got some kind of state grant, whatever, and what they did with the money was they put up billboards. Battered Family Shelter, call us if you need to. So they put up billboards because nobody knew them. Yeah. Nobody knew who they. Think of the women who could be helped, but they don't know where to turn. They don't leave the situation they're in because they don't think they can get out on their own. That kind of thing.
I keep getting goosebumps. Yeah, Lori, we get call every day from a woman who needs some help, and that's why we exist. Yeah, Lori told me some staggering statistic that 90% of women end up back at a shelter. So they have had some small amount of time, really just to feel safe for a short bit of time, but then there's nowhere for them to go. They don't have a relative, or maybe they're estranged. They have nowhere to go. And with their pets, that was another interesting part of something that I've learned about us, is that that's a criteria for them. They're looking for a place to stay that they can take their pets. And so that's why Transformation House was born, because we wanted to defy that characteristic, get rid of that stat. 90% of women, they need some more healing, and they need some more help, and they need some more time.
And some of those, I saw it all the time, was women would leave the shelter thinking they're okay or thinking they're on their own. It's like the flu. When you have the flu, after about 3 or 4 days, you feel better, but you need to keep taking your medicine. You need to stay away from people, because you're just as contagious then as you were when you first got sick. Right. Women who were abused will leave, and they think, I'm okay, I've got myself together, and they end up right back with the same person.
That's right.
And that was so sad to see the recidivism like that. When you guys opened, it's been in progress for how long, Lori?
We opened our doors 6.5 years ago. We started talking about it maybe 7 years ago. Natalie and I are longtime friends and running buddies, and it was really born on one of many runs.
I stopped in my tracks.
Just talking about the need that we saw in the community, and really trying to figure out how we could get involved, how we could step in, where were we feeling called to help.
That's quite an undertaking from running buddies with an idea on the path. Then you realize, here's what we've got to do to make it happen. And it's this long laundry list of things you have to do before you even get your idea to open the door.
Yeah, you're right. I think once we decided what we were going to do, though, things just started snowballing. Once, again, Bernie's fantastic. And once you started telling people, this is what I'm thinking, this is what we need, people really started stepping up and stepping in pretty quickly. And I think we got our paperwork, and we're officially a nonprofit in the summer of 2018, and we opened our doors in October of 2018 with our first family.
Thank you, Lori. The ladies you hear today with me are Lori Houck and Natalie Sales from the Transformation House. It's an organization set up to help shelter and transform lives of women and their children and their pets who have been left homeless through domestic situations, domestic violence, whether it's verbal, physical, restraint, or psychological, and give them a chance to start out on their own. Some of them have never been on their own. Some of them have no training, have no jobs, and you give them a chance to do that. Natalie, talk a little bit about some of the women success stories you've had through there.
He just knows right who to ask, doesn't he?
Okay.
It's just been such a blessing to just even be a little part of these women's lives, because they're strong. They're so tough. No, I'm not going to make it without crying. Sorry. So it's just been an honor to see the transformation just right in front of my face. It's been beautiful just to see how they arrive, and very tentative and very scared. And their kids are always full of joy, and they are also such a blessing. And it's been such a pleasure to get to know them. And I just think seeing these women be employed, find childcare, have a savings account, their physical and mental health improve. It's just staggering when you see the work that they do. It's hard work, and it's not easy, and they have setbacks, but they, again, along with Lori, and we have a fantastic staff of counselors and social workers and people that are interacting with them on the daily and taking really good care. You can see the transformation in their eyes. It sounds very strange. So it's been beautiful. The last fundraiser that we had, Hope in the Dark, and this coming year it's going to be rebranded as Hope in Action. Sorry about the shameless plug. We had a client come back, and she was a speaker at our speaker series event, and it was beautiful. I got to introduce her, and it was just fantastic to hear her stand up there and be that brave in front of hundreds of women and tell her story.
And she said, I was right where you are.
Yeah, and you, that's another great point, is that it's sometimes the women that you would never expect you could be walking by them on the street today.
Right.
You don't know. There is no one size fits all to domestic violence survivors.
And you mentioned kids. The kids, after about day 2, they're fantastic because they don't hear mom and dad arguing. They don't see dad hitting mom.
Yeah, there are, Lori will be able to better describe this, but there's still a lot of triggers for those kids. So overall, they are fantastic, but there's a lot of things that they have little setbacks along the way.
Lori, talk to us about some of the things that you've seen as executive director. When you guys first organized, when you first opened, did you throw the doors open and look out the door and say, okay, where's all our women? Tell us about your first intakes and how big you've gotten from 2018 to 2019 to now.
So we started in 2018 with just a rental here in town. We had a really supportive and understanding landlord who appreciated our mission. And with one family, we knew we had a family who had a need, and we had screened her and knew that she was ready. So we opened our doors and moved her in right away. And since then, we've grown from our one little rental in Boerne to a property outside of town where we have some acres, and we have room for 4 families at a time and several little homes out there. We have big dreams to expand. As Natalie said, we have a phone call every day, and we know the need is great, but we really wanted to take our time and make sure we had a really effective program before we really started scaling up.
And if there's people out there, I'm a pet lover, there are people out there foster pets, and I could never do it. They keep for 8 or 10 months, and then somebody adopts them, and you got to give up a pet you've grown in love for 8 to 10 months. Tell me what it's like sending off a family. Tell me it's like that family's after 18 months or 2 years, bye-bye.
Oh, yeah. It's bittersweet, right? Because it's like sending your kids off to college. You're so proud of them and all the hard work you've done and they've done.
And they come back and wash their clothes on weekends?
We do offer supportive non-residential services, so they can continue to see the therapist and they can continue to see the case manager. But it is sad that we don't get to pop in and see the kids on the regular. And I'll go 6 months in between visits with the kids, and they'll shoot up like a weed, and I'll be like, oh my gosh. But it's one of my greatest joys, just to see them out and about and thriving. But yeah, the graduations are bittersweet for sure because we grow really fond of them.
The voices you're hearing, folks, that are not mine are Lori Houck and Natalie Sales from Transformation House. Natalie, you said something earlier. You said it's great to see the transformation made by these women. Did you guys know that name you picked 8 years ago was going to fit so well today?
That's a great question. Also, I think, like Lori said, in my mind, I know she had been thinking on it for a long time, but it was really born on a run in my mind. And again, I stopped dead in my tracks and I said, we have to do something about this. And what I love about our friendship and now our nonprofit is that Lori is the researcher and the thinker and the executor and lots of other titles. But I most definitely am the dreamer. We just spoke about this last night, and there was just not a doubt in my mind. It was full steam ahead. And like Lori said, it was doors wide open. I feel like we've never gotten a closed door or a no. It has happened so few times that it really did transform right before our eyes. We are, like I said, Lori's a really big thinker, so I think the name of it just happened, and our mission statement has evolved over time as well, but we're very serious and big thinkers about what we put out there as well, and so I think it just happened authentically.
Lori?
I would agree. I think it was a hopeful name. It's really what we were wanting it to be. And on this side of it now, I feel incredibly lucky to be able to say that it is really descriptive of what happens.
Right. Folks, this is a point in the show where you go get a pen and a paper to write with, or pull up your iPhone.
Take out your wallet and your schedule. Look at your calendar.
We're going to ask about how people can help. Financially, time, volunteer, spread the word. Lori, how can people that are listening this morning, this is Saturday morning, how can they help out?
Sure. Just about any way you can think of. We accept donations either if you go to our website, www.transformation-house.org, you'll find...
Got that, people? www.transformation-house.org. Not com, org.
Yes.
Got it.
Go ahead, Lori.
You'll find some Amazon wish lists there if you want to order supplies for our families. We do accept things like furniture.
Oatmeal raisin cookies.
Absolutely.
There
Are
you
you
go.
kidding?
Don't
Coffee.
know if they'll make it to the house.
They'll never make it to the house.
So household items and things like that, disposable items. Of course, we always appreciate financial donations. We're completely supported by the generosity of this community, and so we always appreciate financial donations. We love our volunteers. We have volunteers at events like our fun run and our gala, and then we have volunteers who want to get a little more involved with our families, and we have opportunities for that as well. We have monthly gatherings, we have classes that volunteers can help teach with our moms, we have mentors, we have people who provide childcare. So there's a lot of different ways. Really, whatever someone's gifts are, whatever their passions are, we can probably find a way to get them plugged in. We also have an event coming up March 20th. It's called Hope in Action, as Natalie mentioned. It's a great opportunity to come hear more about what we do, hear from some of our clients, hear from some of our staff, and tickets are going fast. If you are interested, you can also find that information on our website. I think we only have 4 tables left.
March 20th at?
It'll be at Wendler Hall at St. Helena's here just up the street.
And tell people where they find your offices. Your offices are right here in Boerne.
They are. So we're right across the street from the Boerne Theater, 916 East Blanco Street. We have a little office tucked back there where we accept donations and have interactions with the public.
Stay in touch with folks.
Yeah.
Natalie, how about if somebody says, I've got a business, I'm really active, and you need employment opportunity?
Employment opportunity, right now, we are very well staffed. We have amazing staff, but we are always growing and always looking for a few good people. But
Do you mean for our families?
Yeah, both ways. For you guys, if you have there's physical therapists out there that can call and say, listen, I know you might have that, but I've got 4 hours a week.
Absolutely. So I am also a group exercise instructor and health coach. And so that right there, it's been really nice for me to, we have what's called Second Saturday. And so that is a great opportunity for people from the community to use, again, their gifts and go out, whatever it is, even if it's just babysitting the kiddos while the moms can have an activity, that's huge. So yes, physical therapist, group exercise instructors, we have financial, this is where I'm not financial analysts, financial people that come and give them really great finance. So whatever your gifts are, we have engineers that are now retired that have come and help us build our cabins on the property.
Wow.
There's endless opportunities of ways for you to use your gifts.
And Mom's Night Out, it's almost like Mom's Day away.
It is.
Just time for Mom to separate from the kids, because that's probably when they fled or when they left or when they walked away, rode away, drove away, whatever. They do it for their children.
Correct.
So there's got to be that separation once in a while. Okay, I'm going to go out and Mom's just going to chill. Mom's going to relax. You're going to read a book while you go out and while you go bowling. Mom's going to go bowling while you stay home. Whatever the situation is.
That's really huge, because if you think about, these moms are suddenly the sole breadwinner and the single mom for the first time a lot of times. And that time away is precious.
We're talking about the Transformation House here in Boerne. I've got Lori Houck, who's executive director, Natalie Sales, who is the board president. They make things happen for women and children who have escaped or are escaping or getting out of domestic violence situations. It's got to be a tough one to fathom. And it's a sad thing to say is a lot of us know somebody that's been through that, or they are related to somebody that's been through that. And that's just our time, the times we're in now. So I'm sure that happens. How often do women that you've brought in since 2018 when you formed, how often do you sit down and talk with them and they finally look at you and say, I should have done this 3 years ago. I should have done this 5 years ago.
Always.
I think that's a really interesting question. I think most women wish that they had done it sooner, but we do have consultations with non-residents. So we get calls from women who are just concerned about what's going on, and maybe they don't have the language to describe what abuse looks like, but they're just really unhappy or they feel unsafe. And so we actually have a surprising number of conversations with women who may not recognize that their relationship is actually an abusive relationship and that maybe they're not safe.
Lori, you mentioned you get a lot of calls. Again, folks, get out that pad, get out your laptop, get out your iPad, and type it in. Here's the number of the Transformation House. Lori, what number can they call if like you said, if they're concerned about themselves, about a neighbor, about a family member?
Absolutely. Our phone number is 830-542-9166. We also have a form on our website that someone can fill out, maybe if they don't want to be talking on the phone in front of somebody, and we'll answer anybody's questions. We're here to help connect people with resources in the community or help them ourselves if we can.
This is Saturday, February 8th. We're just a few days away from Valentine's Day. If you have the Valentine's heart, you've got that Cupid arrow striking you in the heart to help somebody else. Repeat the number again, Lori.
830
542
9166.
I got that. I'm into numerology, so I'm already working all the numbers
Good
out.
job.
Natalie, talk to me about the gala.
Thank you again for asking. Yes, it is really, truly my favorite night of the year. Mm-hmm. I enjoy this evening. Enjoy's an interesting word, but it is my favorite for sure. It has been in the past years. This is our 5th year we've done this event. It is fantastic, and it always in the past has been just women only. Mm-hmm. And the men in our life have asked repeatedly, why is it only for women? And so this year we have changed things up a little bit, and it is a speaker series in the past. And this year, instead, we rebranded. It's called Hope in Action. Mm-hmm. It takes place on March 20th at 6 p.m., and it is at St. Helena's Church. And what is the room called?
Wendler Hall.
Wendler Hall. And we are inviting the men. The men are invited this year. We have, like we said, limited tickets left, but I would love for you on this Saturday morning to sell out by this evening at midnight. This is our goal.
What do you say? Tickets going fast. Hurry.
I'm putting my DJ voice on. And we are inviting the men. I think that they need to be a part of this conversation.
Right.
We are really advocating for domestic violence to be eradicated. And so that's our ultimate goal. This year it's going to be a panel of speakers. Instead, in the past, it has been individual speaker series. We're going to have a panel this year that includes a dude. A dude is going to be on the panel. And we're going to have our therapists and staff be asking them questions. And so they'll get a chance to tell their stories, their individual stories. But we're going to change up the format this year. And so I'm really looking forward to it.
In Carlsbad, after meeting some of the young ladies who were in the program, I left there in 95. I was 35 when I left, so I was in my late 20s, early 30s when I volunteered. So a lot of them were my age. And after meeting some of them, I had the strangest feeling. I'd go to Carlsbad, be walking through the mall, back when we had malls, and I'd be walking down the street. I'd look at women coming, and before I would have just walked. But after I met some of these women, I would look at women eye to eye as they walked by, just nonchalantly, not stalking or anything, but I'd look and say, I wonder if.
It's the way that you walk around the world.
It changes us. So men have to undergo that change too.
They do. And we have great male volunteers that come on the property and they meet somewhere and take. Those boys need a really great example of what a real strong, kind, thoughtful, and loving man. And so that's a great volunteer opportunity as well.
I had these women whose sons, like maybe 8 or 10, always wanted to go fishing. So I took them fishing twice. I never caught a fish. I was so disappointed because I wanted to pull the fish out and unhook the hook and watch it flap around. I'm like, kids, how about ice cream? Yeah.
Yes.
So
and I'm sure they had a wonderful day, regardless of whether they caught a fish or not.
It was fun. So that was great. Transformation House, the office is here in Boerne. The Transformation House is on the outskirts of Boerne. That's where it is. That's up to Lori and Natalie and their crew to know, and us to find out through volunteerism, through offering, through donation. What if somebody has a job open and they say, hey, one of your women qualified? Do I have, Natalie, do you have a woman in there who could fill a spot for blah, blah, blah? Or Lori?
Yeah, that's a very funny question that you can ask because we have already placed some of our clients in jobs here in Boerne. And so what's so nice, because they live here, their kids go to school here, and it'd be really nice if they can work in this community. So if there are employers out there in Boerne or the surrounding areas that have employment opportunities for these women, because I'll tell you what, they've knocked people's socks off and have been great employees and lasting employees, and they're so appreciative of having the opportunity. And sometimes, again, they're starting over. And so this is a great, just to see it literally transform in front of your eyes. And so we've had the opportunity to do that, and it's been beautiful.
In Carlsbad, I gave a girl named Diana. I gave her a ride for 6 months to work. I could give her a ride to work, but I couldn't bring her back. So I was her wheels to work. Go. And then she finally got a car. She scrimped and saved enough money to get a car. I was like, you need a ride? She said, no, I said, you do? Well, I'm taking my car into the shop next week. Next Wednesday, can you pick me up and take me to work? We got Lori Houck. She's executive director for Transformation House. We have Natalie Sales here. She's the president of the board. Transformation House, once again, run her through the contact numbers like we always end up. Phone number for those who would like to volunteer, who want to find out more how they can help. If you have a job out there for a young lady you think might be suited, the number is 830-542-9166. The email or the website is www.transformation-house.org. Got it, folks? Thank you, Lori, for coming in. Thank you, Natalie, for coming in. Folks, ring their bells. Let's get on that phone. It's March 20th. It feels like it's so far away. It's not. It's only 6 weeks away.
Kids are selling fast.
Men, if you want to be part of something you haven't been a part of before, you've been shut out before, now's the time to step forward. Let's get those seats for those tables taken up at the Open Action on March 20th. Thank you a lot, ladies. And Ernie, thank you very much for tuning in as you always do. God bless and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.